Hi everybody, my name is John Freeman. I'm the owner and developer of the Free Book Network. And in this video, I'm pacing right now. I apologize, I'm pacing slowly. I'm using my arm crutches because of my back. But anyway, I'm going to get to the point here. I've been doing some research on this whole investment thing that I'm pulled into, that I was invited into, that a lot of people are starting to think is a scam, simply because they get shadow banned, they get censored, they get basically shut out anytime they answer or ask some specific questions. And after realizing and learning about the bigger plan, the bigger picture, I realize now why they shut so many people out, because they want to keep it under wraps until a certain period. So this video is going to be lengthy. But so the big picture here. Apparently this investment has I'm going to say a part political and part reform side. And this investment that we're in, that all you guys, and this video is going to be linked to a bunch of people, because I've been getting hundreds of messages from random people in these Google Stellar chat rooms and stuff, and they all are asking the same questions, and they're questions that I thought should have easy answers. But once I got to the bottom of it, I'm going to say I was contacted by a third-party individual who was not part of the Google Stellar investment deal. He is somebody that is a friend of mine that works inside the government. He was Army intelligence back in the 80s, and he worked at the NSA in a lot of his life. He knows and has his hands in a lot of areas now that he's way up on the food chain, I'm going to say. And he explained it to me. He said that I can talk about it to certain people. It's not top secret, but they are trying to keep it quiet because they don't want prying ears getting in and screwing it all up. Apparently, the Democrats are good at fucking shit up. Who would have guessed that? Sarcasm, sorry. So here's the big deal, okay? Apparently, this Google Stellar chat and this Google Stellar investment, whatever the investment is called, I'm calling it Stellar because that is the name of the chat groups on Telegram. Okay, so imagine it. I had like $650 million in one of my cryptocurrencies. 650 million in another. A bunch of them were dropped past zero, and they kept fluctuating and everything, and one of them disappeared, the other one drained. All of them went to zero except for Ethereum, which is now at $31,000, and I couldn't figure out why it went from 650 million to that. And the friend of mine, I just call him Cowboy because he does wear a cowboy hat. He's a solid guy, known him for years, met him through one of my cousins when I was a kid, and he's a friend of the family, so I'm not going to give his name out for his own safety. But I was looking at the Ethereum in the form of numbers, not value. If you look at it in the form of its value, you'll understand the difference. For example, if we take hypothetically a US dollar and we convert it to Chinese yen, our dollar is worth like $20 over there for every dollar we spend. I'm not sure what the exact currency is on it, but that's the difference. That's how currency value works. Is some countries, some currencies have a higher value than others. So you got to look at the cryptocurrency in the form of value and not the numbers that it shows, because 31,000 doesn't sound like a lot to most people. Hell, I know people that have cars that are worth more than that. But if you look at it in the form of value, you'll understand it. So I went on Google's currency conversion, typed in ETH, which is the cryptocurrency for this particular one I'm talking about. Ethereum, I believe is how they pronounce it. And it said it was $11 billion in value. So if you look at it in the form of numbers, you're not going to see much. But if you look at it in the form of value, you'll see a lot. Apparently, 31,000 or 30,000 that it's at now is valued at $11 billion is what the value is if you convert it with the currency conversion calculator. And I was wondering why all 81 of my other assets in the Lobster app dropped to zero and only one of them went up. Apparently that's how this investment system works. from what I understand, and if anybody out there knows that I'm wrong on this or any of this, and if I have certain details not right and certain other ones right, go ahead and tell me, let me know, because as everybody else is, I'm still learning this. So imagine having 81 different cryptocurrency assets, and they all build value, and that when they're at their highest, they drop and convert to one currency. That way they're worth more. They wait till their value is high, and then they all drain into one. Think about it. Apparently that's how the interest consolidates into one asset and becomes more valuable. Now here's where the political side of this comes in, and why apparently in these stellar chat groups people are getting blocked and told not to talk and not to ask too many questions. Think about it. When I'm done with this video, you'll understand it. So President Trump apparently has a plan to end poverty in this country. I'm not sure if this plan affects the whole world, but I know it does affect America. Now, if it's a global effort or just a United States effort, because I live in Missouri, if it's just a United States effort, then it'll affect the Americans. I know for sure it'll affect America. I'm not sure if if it's a global plan or just a local plan. So apparently he wants to completely rid the government of all corruption. Includes the IRS, because the IRS itself is an unconstitutional organization. And the only form of tax that our founding fathers wanted us to have is property tax. And when the founding fathers first established the Union, it was up to each state to tax their own citizens for the property. The federal tax was never something that was supposed to be implemented, because you get too many people riding a train, eventually it collapses because it can't handle the sustainment. So our founding fathers wanted us to have our own states govern themselves. Each state would be responsible for taxing its own property. And sales tax, income tax, and all that other shit was not supposed to happen. Now, Trump is trying to bring us back to that standard. He's also trying to bring America back to the gold standard, which means we're going to have a wealthy country again. Americans are going to be able to make products in America again. It's going to be built Ford tough again. As the old commercials from my childhood would say, built Ford tough. We're making America built tough. Everybody's going to have jobs. We're going to bring products back to America, get this country out of debt. We're going to take this country. It's no longer going to be America Incorporated. It's going to be the United States of America again itself. Not the corporation where all the citizens are assets based on our credit scores. And that's apparently what we have now. We have America, which is a corporation, and the corporation is valued based on the assets, and me, you, and everybody else who has a social security number is an asset. And the more we're in debt, the more we owe. The more we owe, the more our assets are worth. They keep us living in fear, keep us living in poverty, and keep us living under a credit score of sorts. And I didn't know this, but the credit bureaus are privately owned organizations. They are not government or anything official. They are privately owned. And yet they can dictate our credit score and say, oh, you can't buy a house because you don't have an 800-point credit score. But it's a private organization. That's like me walking into your house and saying, you can't buy groceries this month because you don't have a credit score that I say you have. That's what the credit bureaus do. They're privately owned and they're dictating everybody's lives. Now, I haven't been able to verify this next piece of information, but I didn't know it. But Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum apparently is the one who runs and owns these credit bureaus. And according to President Trump, the IRS is not even a government organization. It itself is also private. And they're just portraying themselves as a government organization, even though deep down they're really not. And then USAID is another government organization that funnels financial information and finances out to other countries. And Trump is right. We don't need to be bailing everybody else out. We need to bail ourselves out, take care of ourselves. Every other country out there should be able to manage themselves. They don't need us telling them how to do it, having us send a bunch of money over there. We got to stop funding the world and just start taking care of ourselves. It's a house of cards. Take too many pieces away, it'll eventually crash. Well, if we spread ourselves too thin and spend too much money on foreign aid in every other country and not taking care of ourselves, we're going to collapse. And then, hey, there goes the lifeline that these other countries want. So we have to take care of ourselves in order to maintain everything else, it makes sense. Now, that's kind of where this cryptocurrency, this Google Stellar thing apparently comes in. Now, this is some information that I gathered on my own. I didn't get this from Cowboy. I did talk to him about it and kind of grinned and laughed like, yeah, he knew about it, but he wasn't going to say nothing. Anyway, the stellar currency, when it flips, yeah, we're the assets right now. We're the ones that are basically investing in it. But in the end, it's not going to just be for us. Now, from my own observations, like I said in the beginning of this video, if any of this is inaccurate, I want you guys to reach out to me and explain it if I'm wrong. Because I'm not one of those smart people. Yes, I have a 162 IQ, which is 2 points higher than Albert Einstein. But I'm not one of those smart people that goes around and thinks I'm smarter than everybody else and treats everybody but like a bunch of dumb shits. I hate those people. If you think you know everything, you don't know jack shit. So if I'm wrong, I expect you guys to say, hey, this is what this part is about. You got that particular detail wrong. Tell me. I want to know. You can email me at ceo@freebookone.com, freebookone.com. I own Free Book Platforms. We're a social media company that's competing with Facebook and Google. Not really Google anymore, just Facebook. We shut the search engine down. Anyway, that's my email. You can reach out to me there. It's private, 100% secure. It's not Google, so it's not like anything public. It's not Gmail or anything open like that. It's private. So I'll get your emails and they're 100% secured. So anyway, here's where the next asset thing comes in. This investment, the cryptocurrency that we're invested in, is just the testing ground for something much bigger. Now, this is where I've gathered some details. I've gotten hints from other people. Cowboy did verify some of it, not with just a grin, but it started off as that. He's just glad I figured it out on my own and he didn't have to say something. But basically, this cryptocurrency, when it liquidates and flips, yes, it's going to make us all rich, but that's not the ultimate goal. It isn't just to benefit you and me and the people invested in it. Apparently, when Trump is done rooting out the corruption in our government and we're able to start restructuring this country's stability without the Democrats impeding, Trump is going to issue $1 million to every U.S. citizen. Imagine if every American was given $1 million. Obviously, the people investing in it now will get a lot more than that, but the regular average Joe who doesn't know anything about it, when this currency takes over and replaces the U.S. dollar, he's going to give everybody $1 million and end poverty overnight by doing that. And when he does, this stellar investment thing we're in now is supposed to replace modern currency. So when you go to Walmart, you're going to be issued a debit card that will have this, and it'll connect to it, and you can spend your money no different than you would at Walmart. It's going to replace all currencies, which is why when they did a test run, apparently Larry Page and all the others were arrested because it collapsed the system. And that happened. On a test run, it happened. And it collapsed the stock market. Overnight, it collapsed the freaking stock market, dude. And then they got arrested for it because it did so much damage on a test run. Imagine if it did that much, had that big of an impact on a test run and accidentally, unplanningly destroyed the nation, the stock market, which the nation pretty much relies on. Imagine what it would do in a controlled environment. Like when they're ready to make the switch and all the other stuff has completely conformed and they're ready to make the switch. We're all going to go to this digital currency. US dollars will no longer be a thing. And Trump is going to give every American $1 million to end poverty overnight. Imagine that. That's a hell of a way to end poverty, make everybody rich, because he believes that he has prospered so much in his life that every American should have the same right to prosper in the same way Trump did. The wealthy Bill Gates and all these other people that hoard the money and not give anything to anybody else and siphon the life out of everybody, those people should not be the only ones getting wealthy in this world. Every American has the right to prosper the same as Trump did in his life. And this is a plan to do that. And he has to kill the IRS. He has to kill the crooked government system. He has to basically destroy the establishment. And it's like Dan Bongino said, the country is so broken it cannot be fixed. It must be destroyed and then rebuilt. So that's exactly what he's doing. If they'll just shut their mouths and let him work, he'll get it done. But instead, the Democrats are basically freaking out, and the left-wing assholes are all like, oh my God, we don't have control no more. We can't get our money from the taxpayers no more. Is it a coincidence that the Biden family went broke the second Trump took office? Oh, that's because they were siphoning their money off the government. They were taking the taxpayers' money. That's how it worked. They don't have anything of their own, so they stole from America. Wow. And they went broke the second he left office. Holy shit. That's an indicator right there that our crooked political system is just using people for their value. But Trump is going to destroy it, and when he does, we're going to begin restructuring this country. And when we restruct it, we do have to restruct Congress. We have to restruct the entire system from the ground up. And I believe that in our Constitution, and I believe Trump will do what he says he's going to do, and I believe he'll uphold the Constitution, he's going to make every state responsible for their own taxes by eliminating the IRS and only charging property within the states. States will be responsible for themselves. Federal government will no longer tax every other state. It'll be each state manages their own. And when they do, sales tax, income tax, and all that other shit's going to go out the window too. Because everybody's probably thinking, when Trump gives us $1 million, how much of that do we pay in taxes? Well, if you're no longer paying income taxes and property taxes, the only thing you're paying, you won't have to worry about it unless you buy a house or a car. That's property, man. You got to pay taxes on that, but you pay it to the DMV, not to the IRS. And all that other stuff. You know, you pay your property to the state, as you already do. Anytime you buy a house, you pay taxes, but you don't pay it to the IRS. You pay it to the frickin' state, the way it's supposed to be. So by eliminating the IRS, he eliminates income tax. And if he gives every American on the planet $1 million, holy shit, man, we don't have to pay taxes on that because the IRS don't exist. And that is why in these stellar chat groups, I can see why they are so quick to shun us out and say, don't talk about that, don't say this, and why they keep banning people who do. Think about it. If the Democrats got wind of any of this, well, if they got their hands in it, I should say, they probably already know about it. But if they get their hands in it, they will steal it, they will fuck it up, and they will destroy it as they do everything they touch. So that's why they don't want, that's why they're trying to keep it in a hidden controlled environment. That's why they got mad when I started asking questions. That's why they got mad when you started asking questions and got no answer. Because they don't want the wrong people getting into it. They don't want the wrong people investing in it and then sabotaging it and finding a way to fuck it up by stealing it. Selfishness is a powerful motive. It is a powerful emotion. These people have so much lust for power and control that they can't freaking live unless they're drinking power and control. And who do you think when you get up in the government and you're all the way at the top and you have nobody else that is over you. You are literally so high up that you don't have anybody else that can take away from you. You get so rich and so powerful that you have reached the height and you can't get no higher. Your thirst of lust for greed becomes so much more powerful because all of a sudden it's starving to death. So where do you focus that energy? And control. Hence the dictatorship of the Democrats. And that being said, they lust for power because that's the only other way they can quench that thirst is by taking power from other people. And when they see an opportunity like this to get rich and steal it for themselves, they fuck it up in the long run. They destroy it. They break it. Now, as far as I know, there are no other investors in this organization. They've reached all the investor slots. So Democrats can't invest even if they wanted to. But think about it. This is one big, massive plan that when this stellar currency takes off, or the stellar investment takes off, and goes liquid or flips or whatever, it's going to replace the modern system. And when it does, they're planning on doing more with it than just making the investors that are in it already, like me and you. It's doing great for America, man. Think about it. He's bringing jobs back to America. He's going to give everybody $1 million to end poverty overnight. Nobody will be complaining about not being able to feed their families. Nobody will be complaining about their property, or they can't afford gas or babysitter, and everybody's struggling. He ends the struggle and then gives everybody a job. Like bringing jobs back to America. And it pissed me off when I watched, because I own several news networks. And on one of them, it imported an article through an RSS feed. And the article was that Amazon replaced 500,000 employees with robots. Dude, those are people with families that could be working to feed. Robots don't need to be fed. All they need is a power connection and told what to do. People actually have blood. We need to eat. We need to survive. We need to reproduce. We need to afford the families that we start. So yes, it pissed me off when I see that, because free book platforms will never hire an AI or a bot to do the job of a person. I believe in helping people. And right now, my company is working on building a web hosting company, and we're paying people 50% commission just to sit there and be an affiliate. All you have to do is sell web hosting. It's not that hard. You go into the business. Hey guys, how you doing? I noticed you're with Bluehost, and we know that their company is a bit slow. Are you interested in something better? And they'd be like, yeah, what do you got? They're like, you just got the one website? And they're like, yeah. They're like, well, it don't matter because everybody gets unlimited. I'm with Server Nation. My name is Angie. How you doing? And say, hey, they got this for the 2026 only. They have a lifetime hosting option where you pay once, and this is a limited promotion. You get it for life, and you don't ever have to worry about paying again. And then when 2026 is over, we go back up to the regular monthly annual plan, and the lifetime hosting is no longer offered. But it's a way to get the name out there, and people, and since the lifetime hosting plan is $299 flat for life, the affiliate they can sell as many as they want. There's really no limit on our systems because of how they're built, and they can literally make over $100 commission on each sale. It's like $120 if I'm doing my math right. $120 roughly commission per sale, and all you had to do is go in and tell people about it, or just put a code on your website that'll display that ad, and you're getting commission off each time they order. Think about it. It doesn't require technical knowledge. You just got to go in there and tell people about it. You got to know how to talk to people. Don't need to know nothing technical, but that's how my company is bringing jobs back to America. So that's how it works. Server Nation is going to be hiring people to do that. Commission-based representatives. They're ambassadors to the network. And they can also sell advertising on Free Book One. You know, so we're slowly building. We're slowly growing. And when it does, I want it to be there, because Facebook stays are numbered. I know they're big, but eventually they're going to crash. Especially when people realize there's better alternatives out there like mine. But, you know, that's just it, you know. This investment that I'm in, this portion of it, I'm going to use that to grow my company. And now that I understand it, I made this video so you guys can understand what the big plan is. And that being said, I understand it now. The only reason they're trying to keep the chat room secured and not talk about things openly the way they do, and they shut anybody out that does, is because they don't want certain ears and eyes in the world getting the wind of this, because if they do, they'll get in there and fuck it up, and then we're screwed. So until it goes live, they're trying to keep it under wraps so the wrong people don't find out and screw it up. So I guarantee if the Democrats get their hands on it, we'll never see a dime of it. So that's the big picture, guys. I hope this helps. I know it's a good 30-minute video here, going on 24 minutes. But if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I don't get on Telegram that often but you can go to freebook1.com, freebookone.com. It's a social network that I own. You sign up. My username is CEO John Freeman. Friend me, ask me questions, get on there and just participate, man. I want to talk to this about people, but I just wanted to do a video to kind of explain what the plot is, because after I posted some stuff on the Stellar chat, even though I ended up leaving the group, a lot of people had messaged me. Like, I got over 200 messages last night alone with people dealing with the same questions that were unanswered. So now that I figured it out, I'm answering those questions for you guys. Anyway, God bless and stay classy, everybody. And let's pray that this does happen on the new year, because that flip would be awesome, especially if it's going to benefit the entire country in the long run. I'm game for ending poverty, but God bless and stay classy.